Hello, today is the completion of day number 27 for month number 6 for year number 2019. My name is Derek. This is the Money Charts channel where, like always, all bets, trades, and of the like, well, that's within each his own risk and their own reward. And I always say bets as in, well, if you're trading the market, it's a bet. And some bets win, some bets, of course, are going to lose. And the term calculated advantage player is a term I've been obsessed with for the whole millennium and working towards becoming one. And that's finding an edge. And I've done it in poker and doing it in the crypto trading game. Let's start this video off. Bitcoin. A decent sized down day on the Thursday session, losing 13 and two-thirds of a percent. But this market has came up a long way really fast, and I've heard people saying stuff like, "Oh, you know what? The market has to come down. It's up too fast, way too hard, way too fast." I've even heard one person in a live stream today say that there's a better chance that we go below 3,000 now than we were when we were at 3,500, which really just made me laugh. Because mathematically, I mean, I know it didn't happen, but what were the real chances back there of going below it? And it was probably greater than, depending on which time at 3,500, it would have been a lot higher than it is now. Yes, it's in need of a correction. And when we go through the correction, it's already had a fantastic move that you're expecting not only a higher low, but a very much of a significant one. But what this market needs to do, at least on the short term right now, is either continue its hog wild market or settle down. And within what has happened recently, when we take a look at this on the 4 hour term time frame, there's just several red candles down in a row. There were a half a dozen, or that of six, as price action held and stayed above this level of previous resistance. That's where it's at now. It's tangling in with the 18, which is barely starting to decline. So as far as market reversal, stage one, band flattening out, and basically within the fourth red candle down, that was pretty much accomplished. And then on the sixth one, it did the establishing level of support, and now we've currently done the next stage. Stage number three, which has come back to correctionary mode. The early age level is the 11,380 area, which is where price action's in at now. That's the 18 average of lows. And then the exact numbers, we got 11,440, so a little higher than that. But the intraday move today is 11,424, so barely appears below right now. And the 18 average of highs is in at 12,391 on this particular time frame. So real long term, or yeah, midterm, whatever. I mean, it really needs to stay above this level for a decent amount. If this thing gets above it, it just keeps rallying. It's going to get to most difficult situations as it approaches the high 13,000 of, are we going to top? Are we going to break this and have a spectacular move? But it's got to even get there first to even attempt to do that. Now, as far as finding any reversals, which time frame, it's going to be the 15-minute. That's the spoiler. But on the single-hour term time frame, it is the band flattening out. So stage number one that has been accomplished. There's 14 minutes and 57 seconds left in this period, so it's just working its way up now. Holding and staying above. This is always what I'm looking at. Where was the key resistance before? Well, this area here roughly at around 11,000, but going always the 18 average of lows is really going to be that general area I'm looking for it to hold if there's going to be any price corrections. With that being said, as of me preparing for this video about 20 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, the 15-minute term time frame was the one that was attempting to do stage four on its. And it's close. It's in a nice setup. Stage one, band flattening. And from the decline, we'll get to this whole. I've covered the four stages over and over and over and over again. But from this last bull market run, how has been the attempt to either resume or revert the trend? And at first, it was attempting to resume it, and it did so in here after the major fall. and getting above the 18 average of highs. Okay, attempting to resume the trend, coming back to correctionary mode, and then here we have the possibility, but obviously breaking down below here at that 215 timestamp, and then to the 18 correction here and down again, 18 correction here until this bottom. Now, of course, it's managed to get above it for the first time. Really, I mean, the first time since in here and briefly in here, but the first sustained run above it and the best sustained run above the 18 from the time of the decline. And I want to see a clear break above this level of resistance, and I haven't seen that yet. I mean, my eyes can tell me it's higher, but the more it holds and stays in this level, ideally, what I'd like to see is for it to hold. I don't want to see. I wouldn't want to see it, but whatever if it happens, I guess. But I'd want to see it around 7,014. But I don't want a matching low. If it's a matching low, it's a matching low. Ideally, what I'd like to see happen is maybe to establish some support around 11.3. Stay around here for the next hour, hour and a half, 4 to 6 periods. Establish this big resistance here about where this 11.3 is, and then you'd be getting a lot of good signals that this thing is looking to revert on the short term. And then, of course, within time frames like the single and 4 hour, that would be attempts there. And as we stand in the daily, we're still in this bull market running. We got a long ways to go to even get to stage one, which is band flattening out. And here we have the 18 average of lows on the daily coming in today at right now 10,020. That number would reduce if it goes lower, so pretty much 9,800 and change. And the reason why is because it takes the average price of the last 18 periods and it's front weighted. So it takes 18 periods ago and it takes that number. And then the period after that, it multiplies it by 2, period after that by 3, and the final one by 18. So if it does come down to 11,000, it's going to multiply that number by it, or 10,000 rather. If it does come down to 10,000, it's going to multiply it, and thus this number would go lower. And in the case when markets go higher, the 18 average of highs would start to rise intra period when it's making new highs because of its number multiplied by 18 is a larger number. Okay, so there we have it within the Bitcoin analysis. Markets do need to settle down. They have been settling down a little while, but at any point given, we're already in a high volatile environment, not at a nowhere near a max or an extreme volatile. It's at a high. I remember back in the old when I was going on camping trips all the time, that they'd always have a level for how extreme the fire is and when it's just way out of control. And well, usually when it got past 4, 5, or 6, it was moderate, and that's where I think we are. I rate it out of a 1 to 10, a 6 as far as where we stand in volatility, yeah, and going down maybe to a 5 and a 4 recently. But I'm going to talk about volatility, at least as far as the altcoin market and ratio trading. And there's some decent sized movers on here against Bitcoin. Of course, they are all reset because it's 8:49 p.m. Eastern Time, and there was some nice 18 and 15% up movers and some down movers as well. T Fuel, I haven't looked at that in a while. Let me just quickly. That 265 is a meaningless number, I have to think. No, I probably would have sold there. Yeah, I hit a sell order there. I mean, that's how long it's been. It happened at like 1500 hours. Okay, I'll look at that later. Alrighty, Litecoin. Let's just take a look at this and here. Anything spectacular? 1 hour term time frame. Just really just hanging in there within this 18, 15 minute to do stage. Well, establish this level of resistance and then has been just really holding this 111 and 49, 45, 44 level. A little bit of a failed breakdown, but the way I look at it, the bigger the failed breakdown, the bigger the fast move. So, and smaller, which is this is about as small as it gets. I mean, it's already had a fast move to 116 for what I consider it. However, as this plays out, it did establish resistance, come back to the 18. And if this goes up to about 117, then maybe it could make a run up to about 120, 121. But nothing really too exciting about that. Gold chain's got an interesting pattern actually. It's got a So I might as well give it a go. We'll see if it breaks out, but we can see on the 15 how this level of resistance here at 2 o'clock in the morning 230 was tested noticeably lower in here between 147 to 151. Ever since then, with the 18 average of those being magnificent support on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 occasions. And now it's showing strength amongst the 18 average of highs amongst this 15-minute term time frame. This little move coming back to where it came from. Now, of course, just hanging in there within this high in here. This is looking like this is poised for a decent sized breakout. So as a trader, there's no need for me to have a sell order until at least 170 and 172, if I even have one in. I don't think I have one in right now. I'll just, if I see it gets there, I'll just make trades. And single hour term time frame, it is now reverted the trend. It is in that of a bull market. Stage 1 band flatten out, stage 2 established, stage 3 come back, and stage 4 is just had it. And it means that if you're looking for situations, and by the way, 170, this is where I do have a sell order in, and it's at 171. And then you're looking for a break, and well, I'd be expecting a move to this little area here. Conservative sell is 171. That's where I'm doing it. And then even up to 177. But I'm trading Go against Go and Theta is the fun ones to do this with because I got that trade against so many different crosses and even other ones as well too. But what I'll do is I'll look, okay, a ratio is close to a trade. And what I'll do is I'll put a sell order at a particular spot, and if it goes, it'll hit, and uh, a great gain will come in. More times than not always. Because sometimes I could have this go up and it could hit a seller at 171, and yet all the other coins are going up. But that's the key number thing is all the other coins. I could be trading this maybe against Qtum. Okay, yep, it hits it, and then next thing I know, I see Qtum goes up 9%, and the ratio doesn't allocate the trade anymore. So that can happen, and that's things like that will, but not too often. And but the thing is because I'm trading GoChain against like 5, 6 different coins. As long as it makes a move, one of those coins is going to probably open a ratio up anyway. I could just cross it for something. Uh, at worst case, I just hold it for Bitcoin dollars or Binance coin or something else. All right, so we'll see how this goes. But I mean, these things have been getting their asses kicked. Daily chart, it's just still well down below the 18 average. It's the volatility that I admire within this. And we're at the stage now where the log scale won't do justice for this chart at these lower areas. You need to have a better one. I know it's not on there. Actually, it might be. Actually, it is on there. Bittrex is a very good logarithmic chart. And then on Binance, it's the same as this. It's TradingView, and it's good. It's just their log scale sucks in the Satoshi level. That's as that goes into play. And as far as the ratio trades are concerned, let me just show you a graph of how many trades I've been making. I have 20 crosses right now, and they've been going up. I've been in the. I hope they go up higher. There's two ways that they're going to go up in the short term, and that's if either one of these markets go way up, especially the second one that I'm going to show. First one is Bitcoin dominance, and when it went up here, I ended up selling some Bitcoin, and I bought some Cosmos and Atoms. And if it does it again, I'll do the same thing again. I'll end up buying whatever coin, probably trading against Litecoin because 25% of my Litecoin are allocated to trading the ratio, which means 75% is whatever I choose to do, which is trading against Bitcoin, trading against dollar, profit taking, and opening up new crosses. Which means that if Litecoin can have a huge domination, this is where it gets fun. Because I just added one, and if it goes way up to like 70 or 68, I might add one or two more. But the Litecoin dominance, and I guess I'll just do a different time frame here. If this thing has a big spectacular move, maybe and I could see maybe there's. I mean, if this thing get to like 5, that would be sick. But we're talking $300 5 and plus Litecoin. Then I'm going to be in the situation where, as a trader, what I'm going to do is I'm going to allocate a good handful of Litecoin. I'm thinking, well, that's enough to open up like 6 trades. And depending on which coins I do it against Litecoin, some of them against Litecoin, maybe open depending on where Theta is, maybe even increase its stake a little bit, which is already good and high for me as it is. I'm not 6 figures, but I'm definitely nicely into 5-figure Theta. I know there's a node thing for 6 figures. I would never even consider anything like that because I make coins doing the ratio trades. And this graph represents how many trades I've made per day. And right now we're at 19, and there's still 3 hours to go. So hopefully I can get this to 22, 23, and hopefully I can make this number go higher. Volatility is again like level like C, maybe at best a barely above satisfactory C plus, which is satisfactory is C spot. So C plus volatility. And I mean the A and A plus B plus B rated volatility days. I feel that they're coming, but we've been at E or D and F rated volatility very recently throughout a lot of 2018. And to see that that's ending is very nice. Now, one of the reasons why these are going higher than in here, I've added more crosses. I'm now trading more aggressive. In May, I was trading like I like I'm not a full time trader kind of deal, and that was my mistake, which is fine. But the way I look at this is, for me as a trader, whenever I can complete a ratio, I'm going to make between, and it's going to be a decent range depending on which cross it is, but 3 to 25% for a standard like 9-10% move, maybe 4% to or $4 rather to maybe let me just, how much is that Litecoin? Okay, so 17, 20, 20, yeah, 25. So between like $4 and $25 per ratio. They're the higher stake ones. So when I trade like say Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash or Litecoin and Theta, it's a $25 $20 swap on a 10% move. Whereas something like a Go Chain and like Qtum, actually Qtum is it's pretty low still. That might be like $3, $4, $5 moves in free coins. So I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna gain point maybe one Litecoin and gain this here, maybe gain 0.04 BCH Bitcoin Cash, and when I calculate it, that's usually what it is. Now the sum of these trades, 168 of them. I have to divide that by two for just a approximate average because it takes two to finish off the trade because you buy one and then okay, I'm gonna say something's even. I'm gonna sell 100 for 100, and then next thing you know, I'm gonna sell 100 and get back 120. And we'll say and that's 20 free of those coins. What are those coins worth? That's basically what I calculate. Sometimes I'll gain. It can be traded sporadically differently, but always always to gain a profit. So let's see. Maybe I have a trade I should be doing right now. What I'll do is I'll go to my spreadsheet where I put my price data in. There we have it, and I'll bring the trading view data in. I don't need as much. I'm going to need to go like this. And we sort it by chronological order. So ARC was 393. It's down about 1% almost. So nothing much probably going to happen there. And this is a lower scale bet right there. Atom 4869. That's not much changing there. Bitcoin Cash in at 3612, so that's down about 1%. What I'm doing is I'm waiting for coin markets at 5%. I look at them at around, I don't want to trade them for at least 7% of a move. Bitcoin, this is just for to check my portfolio basis, but hey, Bitcoin is up a little over 1%. At 11,480, and I just want to put four digits in, and I let the computer know multiply it by 10. And with all of these, I have it to set to divide by the amount of 100,000 or 10,000 or 1,000, depending on which one it is. But this is just to easy purposes. So I see Dash is 1381 or so, so it's down 10 basis points. Not much of a move there. DGB was at 108, now it's down 3, so that's about 3%. So maybe something might open up there. I doubt it though. ETC 683, that's pretty much up a half. Go Chain 159, sweet. That's, come on, make that. But that I was mentioning in that video, I think it's going to be a good setup moving forward. Or this video, 3168 for GRS and 67, close enough. And if it's pretty much the same number, I won't even change it. Komodo's 975, so that's down about 1%. Litecoin, we got that in at 1014, so that's down about almost 1%. Neo is 1529, so pretty much the same there. Doesn't look like I'm going to have a trade. 395, Skycoin 153, 1 basis point. Theta 1018, that's a little over 1% down. Tron 285, 1 basis lower. Wave 1639. See, that might help a little bit with everything else down. And XRP 3574, no need to change it. So in here, let's just take a look at in here. I got it set up so that it tells me right here. So 7.6%. Do I want to make a trade with Bitcoin Cash DGB? The market has went higher, which means Bitcoin Cash is outperforming it. Now, sometimes I'll do is I'll put an order in, and then I'll put it in for a little bit higher. Just wait and see. Now I can day trade BCH while keeping an eye on DGB. I have to keep an eye on it. If it goes down, then I just might want to look at them. It's easier just to take the sale price at that point. And if it goes up, I might want to remove the order and increase it. So I'm definitely going to be taking a look at that at the completion of this video. We got GRS and DGB at 7.2. What a beautiful trade I got on that. Let me just show you the DGB quickly. And I need the Bittrex exchange because that's where I made the trade, although it probably wouldn't have made much of a difference. Okay, it'd be help if I, there we go. That's why they have that little thingy to tell you where that F is. Okay, Bitcoin, we want or Bittrex. So we look at this. This happened earlier today. I pretty much got this top. And this was an order I had in from the day before. And I ended up flopping it for GRS. So that's what happened there. And that worked out to very good profit. 8% here for Litecoin and Go. Well, that's a trade, especially on the Go market. So the market has went down, which means I'm going to be selling Go and accumulating Litecoin. Yeah, I'll be making that trade probably first thing afterwards. I'm looking at QTUM Theta. Market is going up, which means QTUM is winning. And I might put a sell order in for QTUM. Maybe a couple percent. No. At 5%, I'm just looking at. At 6%, 6.5%, I might put a sell order. And I'm looking at Ripple and Theta. It's going down, which means Theta is overperforming Ripple. But for now, I'm going to make a trade. I'm going to sell some Go. And the way I do it is with Go Chain. I'm doing the hyper aggressive mode. If it's and I might try to even go for a better play here. I might try to sell aggressively for a 12% move if I can get it, especially because I want to accumulate LTC. But what I do is, just like the black screen game, I got it set up for my spreadsheet to tell me how many of each that I own. So at a 9% move, I'm going to want to sell about 10.5 to 11%. If it's a 12% move, I'm going to want to sell about 15. If it's a 25% move, then we're looking over that 25 number. If it's a 40% move, I'm looking at like 35, 40%. A 50% move, like over 40%. If it's a 70% move, at least half. 100% move, 3/4, 2/3. That's the type of way I am playing that chain within this game. It's all about the game and how you play it. And I know Trader Boss used to be someone who was infamous on the JSNIP4 channel. And one of the quotes he said, which is very true, is make the plan and or trade the plan. And within this in here, I got a plan to get as many of these flips as possible. The more that I get, the more coins that I'm going to gain within these markets. So then, I think to see how fast I want to be, let me just take a look at GoChain because, I might want to just go for that 170 number. And that might be what I don't even know what I'm selling for. I could easily tell by amount because, I mean, it would be so obvious. And even then, I'll just pick whatever for it and sell more most likely. I mean, if this thing goes up to like 400 all of a sudden, I'm literally going to be selling like half of what I got, if not like 55% of what I got. And I hope those situations occur. And I think that these types of market volatility and this type of coin allocates me to do this. This is like my fun play. It's about 2% of my portfolio, how much GoChain I own. It's high and small at the same point. High enough where I can do some damage, but small enough where, okay, I'm allocating my risk versus reward. Like I say, not all the time, but after I say your risk, your reward, oftentimes here and there I'll say, for myself, risk reward management is always job number one. So within this, I'm also going to be looking at stuff like Litecoin. What happens if Litecoin has it? I mean, this is rare for this to happen. But what happens if Litecoin goes down? But usually if they both go down or up together, GoChain is going to have higher volatility. than Litecoin. So if Litecoin goes down a 0.5%, this one would probably go down to like 151, 150 kind of deal. But even intraday moves. We're looking at from June 25th at 17:30. That's better than 50 hours. And that time, the market has went from 160 down to 117. Well, let's even 120 on two different levels. Times it went to 120. So that's a differential of 40 basis points lower on 16. That's 25% down. And then it came back. How many times and how long does it take for a stock? And of course, equivalency of price always dependent for exactly 25% up and its same rate up, or 25% down, same rate up. But how many times or how long does it usually take for them to go from like $160 a share down to 120, back to 160 again? Oh, is that something it did over the last 4 months or 6 months? There's a lot higher volatility, of course, within these crypto markets. And also for stocks, it's also when it has a 2x, 3x move, stock markets usually grind its way higher. And nothing wrong against it. That's just what it is. It's just I mean, that's just who you are, who they are. Uh, but stocks, slow moves. This one can oftentimes have fast moves. Now, come on, Go Chain. Get the job done. But you see, I'm day trading this right now. And I could go for a Litecoin sale now. But I'm going to try to get a better one and see if it'll play out because I think that the market allows me to do so. I end up actually waking up and I woke up like last night. I got up at like 3 in the morning. I slept from like 9:30 or 10 to like 3, and then I got up. Then I slept from like 5, and the sun was up. I mean, it was up already, and so from 5 o'clock to like 9:30, 9:20, I slept again. But it was in here. It was in here where I was selling the Go chain. So like 5:30 in the morning. But it had a lot of strength at the 18 highs. Now, of course, I was staying up hoping for more sales. It came up, attempted it to do so there. Of course, at this point, this is when I had gotten up from it. But since then, nice hit, nice hit. I think this is poised for another leg higher. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye bye.